It's no secret, these last few weeks have probably been more stressful than most for all of us. And when we're stressed, we do one of two things. We either eat a lot more or not enough. Well, Susan Watson is a registered dietitian and joins us via Skype this morning to share how we can manage emotional eating during these uncertain times. Susan, thanks for being with us today.
Thanks for having me.
Now, many people use food to cope, whether it's these last few weeks or even day to day, right? If they have a fight with their spouse or have a bad day at work, is turning to food for comfort a bad thing?
I'm just going to say that, we do use food to comfort and cope a lot of times in life. And from time to time, it is okay. And sometimes it's people's only way to cope at times and to get through a situation. So turning to food to comfort, you shouldn't feel shameful for doing it. It's more so, do you have any other coping strategies? And are you always doing this? Is it the sole way to cope with a situation? And if that's the case, that's where we got to look for some other strategies in life.
So can you go into the other strategies a little bit more? Maybe what questions should we ask ourselves before we turn to food?
Well, that is what we like to call practice not reacting. So when we have a situation where, emotions are building up and we might turn to food, just stopping and saying, hey, what am I feeling? And self-reflect. And then from there saying, what do I need? And often it's not that piece of that food item that you're turning towards. It could be that you need to talk to somebody, or maybe that you need some support, or even implement some self-care.
I've heard that some people say when you want to reach for that piece of food, those chips, that popcorn, the chocolate, whatever it may be, instead of going right for it, maybe have a couple sips of water, go for a quick walk, and then when you come back, you might not feel like it. Is that a fair assessment?
That's just another way of pausing and maybe reflecting on what's going on and just taking some time and not reacting to the situation right away. And when it comes to, say, even just, the suggestion you had with water, sometimes we might be not nourishing ourselves throughout the day. So to combat emotional eating, the first strategy I tell clients is, have you nourished yourself throughout the day? Are you even fueling yourself? And people will get so stressed or so busy with what's going on that they may have skipped breakfast and lunch, and then suddenly, around 2 o'clock it hits and you have rebound hunger, and whatever's in front of you might be what you're turning to. So just stepping back and saying, hey, have I nourished myself? Have I hydrated myself? Water is often something that we don't remember to have, and we're not hydrated, and we might mistake some food cravings for actual thirst.
You touched on this a little bit there, so I want to go in a little closer. About those who don't eat when they're stressed or are going through a tough time, what's your advice to them? Because undereating can be even more dangerous than overindulging.
Absolutely. So if we're undereating, we're not even getting the brain power to think through a situation that might be happening in our lives. And then on top of that, we're getting fatigued and tired, and it's almost like a snowball effect emotionally when we're not fueling our brains. So we want to make sure that we are having regular balanced meals throughout the day and balanced snacks. And those, a balanced meal is where you're having a protein, a carbohydrate, and some sort of fruit or vegetable and fat source all together, and making sure that you don't go more than 3 to 4 hours between eating, because that's when we get that rebound hunger and can end up having the snowball effect emotionally and turning towards food for comfort.
Susan, a lot of great information. We appreciate you joining us. For more information, you can head to alittlenutrition.com.